Okay, we have an 80 Jeep Wagoneer. This was the base trim in its day. But this is actually a very unique year because only a little over 10,000 were made this year. And not only that, this had the best four-wheel drive system. All 1980s, came with lockout hubs and an NP208 transfer case. So it's all manual, there's no vacuums to go bad. You know, most of you probably are familiar with the Quadra-Track. A lot of them were Quadra-Track or Select-Track. This is just the old, you know, shifted on the floor, locking your hubs. All four tires are only a few months old. They're like brand new. Again, all four tires like new. Now, this Jeep has all new exhaust from the exhaust manifold all the way back, and that includes a brand new catalytic converter. That was just done about 6 weeks ago. You can see that cat has a little blue on it from getting warm, breaking itself in or whatever it's doing. But the frame of this Jeep, it's hard to see, but this Jeep has a really solid frame. You can see very minor surface rust on the frame, and that's all the way back. The frame on this thing is very, very solid. The problem areas are these rockers. As you can see, obviously that. All the rust is on the body, and yes, it is pretty bad. You know, I'm being very honest about this Jeep here. It's got body rust, but it's straight, and all the trim is here. It's very straight, surprisingly straight. Now the bumper, all the chrome is peeling, you guys. And this back window is 3/8 inch plexiglass. Okay, and it uses these little locks to keep it shut, but it's basically hinged here. The glass is in there. Obviously the power window doesn't work. I'm sure all the wiring and everything would have to be fixed, so that's why that's that way. But the tailgate opens and closes just fine. Just got to hold the window, and it kind of hangs when you got the tailgate open. But yeah, you can see brand new exhaust all the way back. A little bit of rust. Tires, a little bit of rust. Obviously the dashboard has seen better days, you guys. You can see the speedometer, and the glass over the plastic has been glued on. Radio doesn't work at all. I mean, it's just dead. Original radio. This one has the very comfortable low back seats with the armrest. It is very comfortable. Headliner is done. Sun visors are needing reupholstered. The lights are all, they don't work, so yeah, the back seat's actually in really good shape. You can see that on that door the handle's missing. This door is a little bit better. Now all four windows, they do roll up and down, but they're squeaky and they're stiff. They need to be taken apart and greased up, and I'll show you if I can. I mean, they do work, but they're a little stiff, you guys. All the doors, they don't sag. I mean, they open, they shut tight. Yeah, there's no sag on these. They seem to shut tight. Again, this tailgate works fine. It's just the window's messed up. I'm trying to be as thorough about this thing as possible, you guys. But as you can see, that rust, if somebody's got some skill, you could do a lot with this rig. Now this window, wow, that one's really stiff. We'll leave that up. It does work, but again, you got to take that stuff apart and lubricate it. That one you got to shut a little harder, but it shuts good. And then this guy, I mean, they shut pretty doggone good, I would say, for something 41 years old. It's got 167,000 miles on it. As you can see, obviously it needs some love here, you guys. Now this window's probably the worst one. It's all the rubber is gone out of here, so when you're driving it kind of rattles, and the only way it wants to roll down is if you kind of help it. Sometimes you got to kind of push it down, but it does work. When it goes up, it always leaves a little bit of a gap here. Just kind of the nature of it, I guess. Now everything, the AC does not work, the oil pressure gauge does not work, and the fuel gauge does not work, so I just write down the miles. I get gas every 100 miles just to be safe, but either way, heater works fine, throws heat, not much to go wrong with that part of it. There is no cruise control on this Jeep, factory ordered without it. The wipers, this direction is for the intermittent. That's the off position, and then this way is either low or high. Now the squirter thing, the washers don't work. All the lights work good, the blinkers work good. Obviously the rear defroster doesn't work, nor does the tailgate glass window. Got your vents here. I can't even pull that out, so it probably needs to be greased up or something. Let's see if I can get this hood open. Okay, sorry you guys. Hate to mess up the camera like that, but that's the engine bay. Now another cool thing about this Jeep is it's all original. If you notice here, here's a very rare thing to see, and that's a smog pump. All of it's connected. It works perfectly. This Jeep passes emissions just fine. Carburetor's like brand new. I'll start it up in a minute, and that stuff looks pretty original, I would assume, just by the looks of it there. But I've been driving this every day for 3.5 years, and it has been really, it's been good to me. I mean, it just little things here and there, a hose here or there, some plug wires, you know, little things like that. Batteries like brand new, that was put in, oh, I think it was less than a year ago, or maybe about a year ago. So anyway, I'll start it up. Now it's hot, so when it's hot, you don't have to pump the gas. So I'm not going to do that. When it's cold, you pump it 3 times. You start it and it'll fast idle. You don't have to rev it or touch the gas. Just let it run on its own for about 5 minutes, and then you kick it down, and that'll kick it to the lower idle. But you gotta let it warm up, you guys. These old Jeeps, they're so cold-blooded. If you try to fire it up and go on a cold day, it's gonna want to die on you and not idle and stuff like that. So if you let it warm up, they'll run great. So let's see. Okay, it started. I always give it a little gas just to get the oil pressure built up, you guys. Again, it's fully warmed up. Never smoked at all. We'll take it for a spin. Yeah, this Jeep has never smoked. A little bit of fogging on that lens is just from the condensation there, the fog, but it'll pass emissions no problem, you guys. All the pollution equipment is there, which is so rare on these Jeeps. They're all missing the smog pump and the catalytic converter, and this one's all there. So little crack in the windshield, little ding. I mean, it'll need a windshield eventually, you know. Yeah, when it's warm, it just runs great. Again, you just got to let it warm up. That's the key thing. It goes down the road good for an old Jeep. I mean, obviously the steering does have some play in it, you guys. I mean, it's not horrible, but it's there. It does have some play in it, just the way it is. But it'll sit and idle nice at the light. I mean, I'm just sitting here, I don't have to rest my foot on the gas or anything. It idles okay. Again, when it's cold, you might have to put your it won't idle quite that nice until it warms up, but that's just the way it is. It's a carburetor, you know. I mean, it's got normal acceleration for something this old. I mean, it's not a dog, but it's definitely not fast either. I don't drive it hard. I just drive it normal, you know. So anyway, yeah, it's got some clangs and noises coming from the shocks in the back, and you know, a little rattle from this window, and it does have a little bit of a hum in the rear end. It's always been there, and it's never gotten worse. It's been doing that for 3.5 years that I've been driving it, and it's never gotten any worse. I checked the oil in it, everything's full. So that little bit of a hum in the rear diff, I don't know what it is exactly, but it's never gotten any worse. It just stays the same. Now there is a little bit of a tick in the engine, and the only time you hear it is if you're like taking off. And it's real faint, you guys, but you can hear this little tick. A little bit of a tick, you guys. But again, nothing horrible. I mean, it's 41 years old. It's got 167 thou on it. I suppose I would have a little tick too if it was me. But either way, this is just a good old Jeep. I mean, obviously, as you can see, it needs a lot of cosmetic restoration. I mean, it would take someone with skill and time to do that, and that's something that I don't have either one of those two things. So that's the only reason I'm selling this. So I just want it to go to someone that'll do something with it. I mean, I'm just gonna keep driving it until it rusts away and just there's nothing left of it, and I'd hate to do that. I think it deserves a better life than that at this point. So yeah, so anyway, I think I'll cut the video. I think I was as thorough as I could possibly be. I appreciate it. Thanks for watching.